Good day, here are the headlines from the Philippine News Agency. Australian Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles praised the resilience of the Philippine economy under President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s administration. Marles introduced President Marcos as a keynote speaker before the think tank Lowy Institute in Melbourne on the sidelines of the ASEAN-Australia Special Summit. In his remarks, the concurrent defense minister lauded Marcos for his administration's proactive efforts to boost the post-pandemic economy, particularly by reducing inflation. For their part, Australian ministers of parliament hailed the Philippines' strong performance among Southeast Asian economies. Dixon Queensland MP Peter Dutton lauded the president for saying that economic security is national security. Meanwhile, the Lowy Institute hailed Marcos for emerging as one of the most interesting, influential, and closely watched leaders in Southeast Asia. The Australian think tank particularly cited the Philippines' growing determination to defend its sovereignty in the past 18 months. During his speaking engagement at the Lowy Institute, President Marcos said the Philippines will never surrender even a square inch of its territory and maritime jurisdiction. Two vessels of the Philippines and Chinese Coast Guard collided during the latest resupply mission to the grounded ship BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal earlier today. In a post on X, or formerly Twitter, PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela, said BRP Sindangan collided with the China Coast Guard 21555 and sustained minor damage. He said the incident happened as the Coast Guard faced blocking and other dangerous maneuvers from Chinese Coast Guard vessels and Chinese maritime militia. The Chinese Coast Guard, meanwhile, said it acted against Philippine vessels that illegally invaded Ayungin Shoal, also referred to as Second Thomas Shoal. Chinese Coast Guard and militia units have previously harassed Philippine vessels doing resupply missions in Ayungin Shoal back in August, November, and December. The routine task aims to sustain the Filipino troops in the West Philippine Sea and maintain Philippine presence in its exclusive economic zone. Earlier, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. said the Philippines may push back its ties with China if it continues to ignore or question its sovereignty and other sworn principles. In his speech before the Lowy Institute in Australia, Marcos said the country will cooperate with China on matters where they have mutual interests, while disagreeing with respect on opposing matters. He, however, noted how China continues to disregard the 1982 UNCLOS and the 2016 South China Sea Arbitration Award despite its clarity under international law. He said China's aggression blocks ASEAN's vision of the South China Sea as an area of peace, stability, and prosperity. Marcos also maintained that the Philippines will continue to protect its sovereignty and sustain its interests in the contested waters. The country's inflation rate ended a 4-month decline in February due to a quicker rise in the price of food, transportation, and utilities. In a press briefing, National Statistician and PSA Chief Claire Dennis Mapas said the inflation rate in February increased to 3.4% from 2.8% in January. However, Mapas said that this is still significantly lower than the 8.6% inflation rate in February 2023. It also falls within the government's target range of 2 to 4%. The PSA said the top 3 commodity groups contributing to the February 2024 inflation are food and non-alcoholic beverages, restaurants and accommodation services, as well as housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. Overall inflation in areas outside the National Capital Region also showed an uptrend at 3.5% in February 2024 from 2.8% in January 2024. Meanwhile, the National Economic and Development Authority assured that the government is intensifying its efforts to help keep the inflation rate within its target. The Department of Budget and Management has approved the establishment of 8 new regional offices and 96 plantilla positions for the National Commission of Senior Citizens, or NCSC. The new NCSC regional offices will be set up in key areas nationwide to better serve senior citizens. These include Ilocos, Central Luzon, Mimaropa, Bicol, Western Visayas, Northern Mindanao, Caraga, and the Cordillera Administrative Region. Likewise, the DBM has also approved the creation of 96 plantilla positions to support the operation of these offices, each to be headed by a Director 4. The DBM said these expansions are in line with Republic Act 11350, or the NCSC Act enacted in 2019. A magnitude 5 earthquake rattled Davao Occidental region early Tuesday morning, according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS. The tectonic quake, with its epicenter located 5 kilometers southwest of Jose Abad Santos, hit the area at exactly 5:15 this morning. PHIVOLCS said it was 169 kilometers deep. Meanwhile, intensity 3 was felt in Don Marcelino in Davao Occidental and Malungon, Sarangani. Intensity 2 was felt in Alabel, Maasim in Sarangani and Digo City in Davao del Sur. Intensity 1 was felt in Tupi, Tiboli in South Cotabato, Glan, Kiamba in Sarangani, and Matanao, Davao del Sur. No immediate casualties or significant damage was reported. However, residents in the affected areas are advised to remain vigilant and take the necessary precautions. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA Headlines. For more news updates, please visit our website, pna.gov.ph, or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA Headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account, via the News and Information Bureau website, nib.gov.ph, under PNA News, or on the Facebook page of the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO. I am Marita Muahe, and this is the PNA Headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.